Hello, thank you for joining me for part two. These are exercises that go along with an article that I wrote about why mobilizing your pelvis might help your low back. So feel free to check that out and make sure you check out part one as well. You want a mat probably to lie down on and to come into a hands and knees position on, and then just a floor. So hopefully you have those things. Lie down and let your legs be long. And to start, you can have your feet be wide for a second and then take your arms overhead. Now, if your arms don't go overhead comfortably, and you'll see mine, there's a little bit of space right now. I'm going to take my arms out so they make more of a Y, so they can rest on the floor and not feel like they're holding any extra muscular effort while I do this. Take your feet together and slide your feet to the right. Bring it back to the starting position. Do this a couple more times. Make sure you breathe. And see if you can feel what happens in your pelvis while you slide your feet to the right. On this next one, slide your feet to the right and pause. And maybe you even take your right hand to your right pelvis and just feel where that's located in relation to your ribs. And take your left hand to your left pelvis and feel where that's located in relation to your ribs. So you'll probably find the right side of your body is shorter. Take your arms back to that Y position. Slide your feet back to the starting position. Now slide your feet to the left. Bring it back to the starting position. Slide. Breathe. Take one more. And same thing here. Feel your pelvis. Maybe take your left hand down. Maybe take your right hand down. Maybe even lift your head and look. Look, my right side of my pelvis is lower than my left. And bring it back to the starting position. Turn over, come onto your hands and your knees. And what you may have noticed with what you just did was one side was more challenging than the other, and that's totally normal. So take your knees so they're right beneath your hips and your hands are right beneath your shoulders. And just imagine you have a tail. You're going to wag your tail to the left and then wag your tail to the right. Just go back and forth here. And let your torso and your weight shift, respond to the motion. So you may notice as you wag your tail to the left, there's a shift of weight in your hands to the left. That's totally normal and okay. Same when you go to the right. Take one more each way. Find a centered position. You'll notice I didn't cue you to keep your pelvis in any one specific place. I didn't say make sure your pelvis is neutral or make sure your pelvis is tucked or make sure your pelvis is arched. What you'll find with exercises like that is if you have a tendency towards one of those things, so your tendency is to keep it tucked, then you're not going to be able to go as far as comfortably. So your pelvis will naturally, generally speaking, respond by moving to a more neutral position. And same with a strong anterior tilt, you'll see I don't go as far, though I do feel a different stretch, and that actually feels kind of good. So there's really no right or wrong with these types of exercises. It's good to be able to play with the movements with your pelvis in a different position. So don't get too, as long as it's pain-free, so don't get too worried about that. Now you're going to come into a standing position, and I will start facing the side, but then I will turn and face you so you can see my feet. You're going to take your hands on your hips. You're going to reach your right hip to the floor. Lift your left foot up just about an inch, and you're keeping your left leg really straight. Bring your left foot to the floor. Lift your right foot up about an inch. And just go back and forth here. And I will turn, so I'm facing you guys. So again, you can see that my legs are straight. And then if I do it from the back, you will see that I'm not rotating my pelvis forward or backwards. I'm just moving side to side. So go ahead and give those a try. I hope that you're starting to understand how your pelvis works and how you can mobilize it in a lot of different positions in a lot of different ways. The next set of exercises is more rotational. And then there will be a follow-up series which will look at keeping your pelvis still while you move your leg around the pelvis. So thank you.